Hello everyone! You're listening to the new episode of the Hiring Talks podcast presented by Axterior, a professional recruitment platform. Here we talk about hiring, HR management, and everything related with outstanding leaders from the different industries.
We are Anna and Sofia, and today our guest is Anastasiia, the HR manager of the AdTech startup Madgicx. Our topic today is hiring and retention challenges in a startup. Is it possible to build a clear recruitment policy in a newly created company? I think we will find out in this episode. Stay tuned.
Hi girls, my name is Anastasiia. I'm working as an HR manager at Madgicx, and I've been in this company already for 2 years, so I've been through different stages of the company, and I met several waves of I experienced several waves of recruitment at Madgicx, so I'm happy to share my experience about it.
We are happy to record this episode with you. Since Axterior is a startup recruitment platform, we decided to invite a person who was in our shoes. By the way, you can find Anastasiia's LinkedIn and Madgicx website in the video description. So tell us a little bit more about your company.
Our company is called Madgicx. We are a product company, and we are the fastest growing company in the world of online advertising. I'm going to tell you what we do in very simple words. We have a platform, advertising platform for Facebook and Google, which currently manages $700 million for tens of thousands of customers around the globe. And I'm going to give you some numbers. We have 36 engineers, 4 offices worldwide, and growing 2 times every year. Also, the main thing, 700 million marketing budget managed by our customer on the platform. So maybe in the next answers and talks, I'm going to give you more details. For now, that's it.
Yeah, but in fact, it sounds really great. I Googled some info about Madgicx, and I found that you are like one of the top fast-growing companies and startups in the world, so it's really amazing. And in fact, what about recruitment? I found some information that 75% of hiring managers say that it's easier to attract a candidate who recognize a company. And I have a question about the startup recruiting. So did you stumble on any difficulties inherent to recruiting in a startup? Is it difficult or challenging?
Yes, definitely. You just need to keep the pace, if I can say so, because usually in a startup there is no organization or no some structured things. And actually, I know you were going to tell it. We had tried to record a podcast before, and back then I didn't try your platform. Now I had time. I had 2 months to try it. And I'm using now for our company because now we are hiring 2 positions. And yes, there are difficulties. I had difficulties. I was struggling to keep all the candidates in one place. Sometimes I forgot to send rejections. I know that it's bad. It's really bad. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's better to send rejection very late than not to send it at all. So I did it several times. I sent it like after a month or something after the interview. And I'm saying all of this because this is really important to have one tool where you have everything, like the statuses of interviews, the candidates, the CVs, who is responsible for technical interview, for test task, and so on. And the company, the startup, should come long way to understand this and start using this, because in the beginning you just think, oh, I have 2 positions open. I can gather candidates in my task management tool and do everything there. But it's a task management tool and it's for tasks. But if you want to do a smooth recruitment, you need to use an automation tool for recruitment.
We're really glad to hear your feedback about Axterior, and we're happy that our product helped you.
I love that you mentioned that it's our second attempt to record this podcast, because for me and Sophia, it was so disappointing that the first time was failed, but in fact, it led to the fact that you tried Axterior, so everything is for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, as we understand, when the startup is growing quickly, there is a permanent need for candidates for different teams. Do recruiters have to collaborate with all the hiring managers to hire more swiftly at Madgicx?
Yes. So depending on the hiring manager, the strategies are different with hiring managers. You need to know the people and how to collaborate with them. Some people are really structured and you send them the kickoff template. They need to look through it to see what they need to know about the position they want to, about the vacancy they want to close. So definitely yes. And you need to be prepared to to be flexible with it because people are different and they have different views on hiring as well.
Yes. Communication is essential here when you collaborate with hiring managers.
Yes, actually, I've been interviewing. Now we have office manager and HR intern/HR intern joined our company, and I was interviewing people for this position, and I understood that when the person wants to work in HR or recruitment, they say, and you ask them, why do you want to work in HR or recruitment, and why is it important? They usually say, I love communication. So here you are, when you come to recruitment or HR, you communicate all the time, and you need to have resource for all of that all the time, actually.
And how did you manage to set the collaborative hiring process? Maybe you have some defined procedure of working with hiring managers or something like that.
Yes, I have actually written the process. Sometimes I check it, but now it's really a habit. I don't know. If some position is open, I know that I need to have a kickoff session with the hiring manager. I need to research the salary ranges. I need to see what's on the market, how many candidates are there, to check some Telegram channels or some other channels, I don't know, maybe some communities, and then start sourcing on different marketplaces. I don't know how to say
Job boards?
Yeah, job boards, depending on the vacancy. Because, for example, for developers, the best one is Genie. Of course, LinkedIn is the first, but for me, Genie works better. But if it's, I don't know, a media buyer, for example, LinkedIn is better.
And have you ever had conflicts with hiring managers regarding some candidates when you follow the candidate through the whole job pipeline and at the last stage, like hiring managers reject them?
Yes, definitely. And you have to be prepared for it. You can discuss it with the hiring manager. You can, I don't know, try to persuade him that it's a good candidate if you are sure that he fits the corporate culture and it would be a nice fit to the team. And you know that the technical task or test task was completed at its best. You can insist on the fact that we need to hire this candidate. But sometimes we come a long way to interview. I spend my time, hiring managers spend their time, CTO or CEO spends their time. And actually, it's very expensive because a mistake in recruitment, it's very expensive. You need to count the time of recruiter, hiring manager, CEO or CPO, some C-level, you will have some amount of money. And then if you hire the person and it's a wrong fit to the team, also count the resources, hours, people that are involved in onboarding and so on. So a mistake in recruitment, it's really expensive. That's why you need to research every time the hiring manager requests in the end, or wishes. Maybe they really see something bad in the candidate, or something that doesn't fit the requirements or the team, because sometimes they know better. And research this issue and come to the conclusion to hire the best talents.
Yeah, that's a really good point about like the financial part of this process. Moreover, hiring the wrong person could cost for a startup far more than time and money. It can be the difference between becoming a market leader and a market laggard. So
yeah.
By the way, at Axterior, we have a feature that called Job Pipeline, where all of the participants of the hiring process, including recruiters, hiring managers, HR managers, can track each candidate, and it really helps to align all of the communications that recruiter have with candidates, because other participants can share their feedbacks before recruiter communicate with the candidate.
I saw, and for me, when it comes to recruitment platform, the main thing is that it's simple to use. It's like the simplest it can be. And when I saw Axterior, I understood that even hiring manager would use it, because usually hiring managers that they don't want to use any tools or, track the candidates, change the statuses and so on. They just want the person. But with your platform, it became so much easier, because it's simple. You just enter the platform, you start using it, and you have everything in one place, and it looks simple. It's not complicated. I've been using actually a lot of other platforms. They're also more for HR and recruitment as well. And when you enter the platform, you understand nothing. So you need to have like 2 or 3 demo sessions, then support of project manager of this platform, or salesperson, whoever, to understand how it works. And then when you understand, you need to explain it to people. So the main thing I like about platforms, recruitment platforms and apps, anything, is that it should be simple for people. It should be understandable. And actually you meet this requirement, so I'm really happy to use it.
Oh, thank you. Actually, that was our major goal, because we understand that everyday working routine of HR managers and recruiters is already complicated and sophisticated. So instead of making more harder, we just need to simplify with Axterior. And that's all.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, you're right so much. I recently posted a vacancy of a front-end engineer, and look at this.
99 messages.
Yes, 99 messages, and they all applied by themselves, so I didn't text them. Whoa. And now, in the time of some kind of crisis in the world, because a lot of companies cut their people, there are a lot of candidates. That's why now it is especially important to have everything in one place, because you can lose a talent that fits your company. You need to keep everyone and screen everyone in one place.
Okay, so we talked about Axterior, we talked about Madgicx and hiring at company, and what I offer now is to talk a little bit more about your professional growth and development. We know that you have switched to the HR position from the recruiter. Mm-hmm. And you were a recruiter and now an HR manager for last 9 months. Mm-hmm. Can you share a little bit experience of working as a recruiter? How it was at Madgicx?
There are several people who helped me, but I learned everything almost by myself. And it was a nice experience because you learn something and then you practice. You read about something, then you practice. And you understand what's right, what's wrong, what is a nice approach exactly from our company to approach the candidates, because the first interview, it's really important because the person sees through you what is the company.
Yes, it's the first impression.
Yes.
Most important.
When the recruiter comes to the interview and the recruiter is like, "Hi, my name is Anastasiia. Let me know you. Let me give you the structure of the interview." The person is like, "Okay," because I received a lot of feedback from the people we hired that they liked the first interview, and when I come to the interview, I'm like, "Hey, my name is Anastasiia. How are you? Where are you? Blah blah blah," and they love this. They love this vibe. I understand that it's really hard for recruiters to keep this mood like every interview. I have my ups and downs as well, but usually I try to be on a positive note. And this came from experience because the first interview, I had half of the screen my text word by word, and half of the screen the candidate. And I was so focused on the text that I wasn't actually almost listening to the candidate, and I couldn't write what I remember because I was very nervous. But when you do, 100 interviews, then you're like, it's so easy for you that you can find different approaches to the candidate and hire the best talents.
Yes, so you learned how to calm down with your emotions and worked a little bit more on how to impress candidates.
Yeah, because that's important.
I've just thought that recruiters do more for first impression about the company that more than social medias or paid advertising, because in fact if you have 100 candidates for one vacancy, you communicate to much more people than paid advertising can.
Yes. It's advertising as well, because you talk to people, you present your company, and if the person sees that the recruiter is, burned out or very in a very bad mood or something like that, the candidate has not the best first impression. So I think really, I know that there are no introverts and extroverts in psychology, but I'm gonna use this word because it describes best. I think extroverts become recruiters because you can give resource to other people, or like it happened to me. I'm an introvert, but I have a very developed skill of being an extrovert. So when
That's interesting.
Yeah. I usually don't like talking to people. I don't like when some known people come to me and start talking, but I can easily handle it if I want. If I need it or if I want it, I can do it easily.
We are glad that you decided that we are the right people to talk with.
Yes, you see? That's why it took 2 months to come to you, because I understood if I come and I don't want to do it, I will be like that recruiter in a bad mood.
Yes, for our information for our listeners, we made our first podcast episode 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Due to the technical issues, we couldn't publish it on our social media, so it took us 2 months to reschedule another one meeting to meet with Anastasiia and make this episode. But finally we are here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we have one interesting topic more for today. We've decided to ask you the interview questions job seekers hate most.
Okay. I don't ask these questions, so my answers would not be the best.
Okay, but we'll try. What's your greatest weakness? I like when people try to answer this question, like I like to delay all the tasks, but I'm very responsible. I do all of them.
Okay, I have a story for that. I'm not gonna answer the question because it's so weird.
Okay,
But
it's story time.
yeah, story time. So when I was 15 or 16 years old, I found a job. I was working in a call center. It was the worst job ever. But
My first job was also at call center.
yeah, what were you selling?
I was selling beauty products. Beauty
lucky you.
procedures at beauty salons.
I was selling Windows. Yes, Windows. Windows. When I'm 15 or 16 years old, maybe I shouldn't talk about it because maybe it's forbidden to work at this age. But yeah, I was selling Windows. It was the worst experience of my life. But after several years, I found out that in my CV, I wrote like my greatest weakness that I'm a perfectionist.
Sometimes it really seems to be a weakness.
Yes, but it's so typical answer. Like, these questions are made like these questions should be asked on the interview, on every interview. It's like a standard or something, but still I don't use them. I look at the person, I use some different questions. And there is a standard answer for this question. Like, you're a perfectionist. You can show your future employer that you do everything perfectly on time and so on, and you think that it's your weakness. So you got it, right?
Yeah, it's like
tricky game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like videos on YouTube, like 10 life hacks to be successful on the interview.
Yes, I watched
Just say
them.
that you're perfectionist.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a perfectionist.
Okay.
Okay, but we have one more question from this topic. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? But don't tell us that you want to be a project manager.
Yeah, I wanted to be project manager, and then I started a course on Google. I passed, I think, 2 lessons. I didn't like it. Then I found PM book. I have it still in my phone. I read 1% of it. And I understood that it's not my cup of tea. And yeah, I see myself in 5 years. I actually want to develop in HR. Maybe if I get enough experience, I can become HRD in the future. Maybe more than 5 years, maybe in 5 years, we'll see. But definitely HR. And recruitment. I'm still doing recruitment in our company because we don't have recruiter. I'm taking care of HR things and also recruitment. But recruitment now, it's really easy because we have vacancies of the same vacancies we used to have a year ago. And for me, it's like really easy to hire them because I have a lot of experience in it.
Yes, and as a person who has experience both in recruitment and now is working in HR management and can compare these 2 directions, how would you describe, like in 1 or 2 sentences, your work as a recruiter and your work as a HR manager? The most important insights.
Insights? I don't know. First sentences that come to my mind. When you are a recruiter, you sell the company and you try to get candidates attention and like your company. When you are HR, you take care of the people. You make sure that they are all satisfied, that they are all developing. You measure their development successes. You do these one-on-ones to understand how they feel. Maybe they want to develop somewhere. It's these are very different things, and actually I believe that if you want to be an HR, it's best if you come to it from recruitment, because when you work in recruitment, you ask question like, what do you think is important for you in your future job or generally at work, and you can understand the general candidate's needs. Usually it's a team. They all say that team is a must, friendly, flexible, great team is a must, because when you're working in a good team, you can bring good results. So yeah, that's it.
Are there candidates at Madgicx that were interviewed by you and now they work with you as an HR manager and they communicate with you on one-on-one meetings?
Yes, there are a lot of people like that.
Well, that's interesting experience, because you interact with different stages of candidates' life cycle as a person on the different positions.
Yeah, so it's like from the first message to onboarding calls I do with them, and that's actually, I like this type of working, because first you hire the person and then you help person on board. So when this is done by one person for a contractor, for my new freshly joined colleagues, it's easier because they already know me, I hired them, and now I'm helping them to onboard.
I like this stage of communication with a recruiter when like your last message was welcome on the board of our team, and the next message is okay, let's take some food delivery at the office.
Yeah. Yeah, onboarding is going well when you order food in the office.
Definitely. And in fact, we have one question from our follower on LinkedIn, and I don't want to skip this because it's a question from our previous guest of our podcast. Guys, if you haven't watched this, I recommend. It's about International Women's Day, and in fact about discrimination, quite hot topic of all the time. But the question is not about that. The question was, I would like to hear some tips about how to attract talent in startups. But I think it's quite general topic. You can give maybe one tip or secret of successful hiring in a startup.
First things first, you need to understand what the company is doing. So, and if you are interested in the company's industry, it would be easier for you to conduct the interviews, because you know what you offer to the people. And when you know what you offer and you are interested in it, you are passionate about it, please get something, I hate the sound if you heard it. And when you know about your company, you are interested in this industry, you need to structure everything, not to lose candidates, because in the first stages of hiring, you need definitely to send detailed rejections, because this is a company reputation. If you don't send rejections, or the recruitment process is dragged for a long time, you'll get bad reviews on Glassdoor or Dow or whatever. So yes, these are the main things, I guess.
Thanks for that. I think it was quite inspiring. Thank you for the time you devoted to this podcast. And we wish you the best of luck in your work, and source smarter and hire faster.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
To all our listeners, don't forget to like this podcast and set the notification to be the first to listen to the next episode. And Anastasiia, thank you for coming.
Thank you for the questions. It was really nice talking to you. And actually, I didn't feel that it was a podcast. We had like a coffee, you know, in a cafe. So it was really easy. I really liked and enjoyed it. And yeah, guys, like and subscribe and stay tuned. Sophia and Anna are going to conduct, I'm that sure, the most interesting podcasts in the future. Woohoo!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.